It's okay to use your calculator, even on the quote, easy problems you don't need your calculator for. I have witnessed professors, TAs, even other students say something along the lines of, you shouldn't need your calculator for this. And while yes, they are correct, I almost feel like they're shaming students for something that's perfectly acceptable. Your calculator is a tool you are allowed to use. The problem is the emphasis on the word on need. I use my calculator for almost every single problem. Not because I don't know that sine of pi is 0. Not because I don't know that 3 times 6 is 18. Not because I don't know how to add a positive and a negative number together. No, I use my calculator to double check my work because I can tell you when I'm taking an exam and I feel like I'm stressed on time, I personally am very prone to dropping negative signs. That is a weak spot, I am aware of it, and I have found it is very helpful to really look at the problem, plug it into the calculator, and forget about doing it in your head. Not saying that I don't know how to do it, and you're not saying that you don't know how to do it when your professor says you shouldn't need your calculator for it. Yes, I don't need my calculator for it. But if I know that I'm prone to forgetting a negative number and I'm trying to keep an A in a class to prevent my 4.0 from dipping, I'm using my calculator, okay? I'm just gonna do it. And I'm telling you, if you want to use your calculator, you're allowed to bring this to an exam for a reason. If I had to take a guess at why professors almost shame their students when they remind them, you don't need your calculator for this, it has nothing to do with the fact that thinking your students are stupid because they are double checking your work. No, it has nothing to do with that. Even the professors make mistakes on the board. I have seen professors drop a negative sign. Witnessed it happen. I have raised my hand and corrected them myself. I've seen it happen, and that's totally fine. So it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that there are a lot of students who are going to be lazy and they are not going to take the time to memorize this. I'm not saying you should know tan of 11 pi over 4 off the top of your head. You can do it in your head. It is doable if you know your unit circle. But in like that, it's fine. But sine of pi equals 0, it should be like that. And that is what the professor is trying to emphasize. They don't want students to be lazy. And in that regard, yes, you don't need your calculator for this. But I don't think that it's bad to use your calculator to double check. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Your professor has a point in that you don't need your calculator for this. But I think this often shames students who are using their calculator as the tool it is meant to be. If you are double checking your work because you don't want to make a careless error and use points in an exam, if you are plugging 2 plus 2 into your calculator for that, go ahead, by all means. 2 plus 2 equals 4, double check that on your exam because you want to get a good grade on the exam, right? But if you really and truly do not know that 2 plus 2 equals 4, I think that is why the professor is going to be reminding you, or the class as a whole, that you don't need your calculator. This is all largely opinion-based. As a person who will use my calculator for every problem on the exam, even the easy ones, I can tell you it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm lazy. It's more so me double checking my work. I will see x times 6 and I'll know my x is 2 and I'll know it's 12, but I'm just gonna plug in just in case into my calculator and make sure that what I just did in my head is correct, because careless errors happen. They do, and they can lose you points fast. So if you are using your calculator to double check your work, if you were using your calculator because you have a migraine coming on that day and you're like, you know what? I can't even do 2 plus 2 right now. I'm just gonna plug it into the calculator, get my grade, and move on. If you're using your calculator because you're drawing a blank on something that you know should be easy, listen, you're allowed to bring your calculator for a reason, so use it. I don't want to shame you if you find yourself not knowing your unit circle yet. It's all part of the process. I'm going to be fully transparent. I learned my unit circle when I was a sophomore in high school. So when I was then a sophomore in college, I had to rememorize my unit circle. I had to go home when the professor was talking about the unit circle, assuming everyone had it memorized, and rememorize it myself. It's just part of the process. So if you have to refresh on something, it's fine. Go home, refresh on it, and then if you want to use your calculator once you know it to double check, Use your calculator. Don't let your professor shame you out of using it. Seriously, use your calculator.